You're listening to Language Nerds Do Earth, the podcast about linguistics, culture, travel, and how they're all connected. Now, it's time for your language nerd hosts. One in China, one in Spain. It's Patrice and Rachel.
Hi everyone, I'm Patrice.
And I'm Rachel.
And welcome to Language Nerds Do Earth. This is episode 4.
We're super excited about this episode, and it's going to be really interesting because we have some collaborators.
Yes, we had a lot of help getting this episode together, and we're really stoked to bring it to you guys today. But first, before we get to the most exciting part, we have an article that we want to talk about.
So the article was about how emotions are a cultural phenomena because the way that we learn them and the way that we perceive them and express them is different based on your culture. While there are various emotions that we all pretty much experience, the way that we experience them is different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So when you're born, you know what makes you happy and what makes you sad, right? Mm-hmm. Or, babies are happy and they cry. But all the stuff kind of in between, besides pleasant and unpleasant, we learn ways to react to them. So the big example they used was shame in the article. Mm-hmm. So, for example, in Western contexts, shame is a bad emotion, whereas in other cultures, it's in the same category as modesty and embarrassment. And so when you have shame, it shows that you have propriety and that you know your place in the world.
Right. Yeah, this was actually something I had not considered that much, that culture could be such an influence on our emotions. I guess you think, well, we're all humans, so we all experience the same feelings. Actually, what really struck me from the article was the way that we perceive emotions. So in Western culture, it's something that's very interior, something that happens inside of an individual. Whereas in other cultures, more Eastern cultures especially, emotions happen between people. So it's like a relational thing.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I mean, it kind of shows you, we all learn at some point or another about collectivism versus individualism. Mm-hmm. And that's not just in mentality, but it's also in feelings.
Yeah. Something I had never really thought of, but it makes sense.
Right.
Instead of feeling like I am angry, I have anger between this person and I. There's anger between us.
Right. Yeah. That kind of blows my mind. Because, you think about somebody who's angry and they might be sitting in a corner, right? Mm-hmm. Just kind of stewing. But you still are influenced by that person's anger. You can't just kind of not let it affect you. But we still view it as an internal thing for them.
Right.
Whereas in Eastern cultures, it's very much something that happens between them. That's a really good point. It's viewed as influencing both people.
Yeah. Which is very interesting.
So maybe when you have emotions this week, think about how you're experiencing them. Oh yeah, that's something else. Like when you do learn a different language, you learn a different culture, and you learn, when you get really advanced, you might kind of learn how people experience emotions differently. So that might help you reflect on your own emotions.
Right, that's a good point. And I guess I'm thinking about immigrants and people who've been in another culture for a really long time, let's say like 20 years. I wonder if they start to experience those kind of emotions or if it takes a little longer.
Yeah, I feel like it takes like a generation.
I think that's what the article said too.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. That's why it takes a generation, because it takes like kids growing up in both worlds to kind of understand where each one is coming from emotionally.
Right. Very cool.
Yeah.
So this ties in pretty well with our topic this week, which is the sounds of human emotions. So this is related to onomatopoeia, and Patrice, do you want to explain what that is?
Yeah, so we kind of, without realizing it, we kind of went two directions. We got, okay, you think about the word Yeah, is both a word, it means you're thinking, but it doesn't actually really mean something, but it is a sound that we make, and it is found in some dictionaries. So, but it's a sound word, so it doesn't actually mean anything, but it does mean something to us, right? It can be high-pitched, like, like, maybe, good idea, right? Or it can have a rising intonation, like, what? What? I didn't understand. Yeah. Or it can be, with a lot of M's, like, I'm thinking about what you said.
My favorite one is, I am dubious.
Yeah. That sounds like a male in English.
Right, so it's not exactly a word, but
right.
It is something that has meaning, and if you speak English, or as we're going to see, some other languages, you will understand it. And people aren't really sure where this comes from. Maybe it just evolves naturally, or maybe it came from another language, but there's no way to really know. It's a very natural sound, I think.
Yeah. So they call it a sound word, which is why originally when we were talking about it, it kind of is classified as onomatopoeia. So we had the idea to ask a few of our friends to kind of give us some of their sound words, as well as a little bit of onomatopoeia.
So onomatopoeia is basically the word that we assign to sounds, something like wham, bam, pow. Think of like a comic book. Woof, something like that.
Yeah.
So we have them that we express as well. So basically what we did is everyone sent us some of their sound words and onomatopoeic words, and we combined them so that we could hear them side by side.
Yeah. Also, this is like a totally weird thing that I've always thought about. I remember learning about the word onomatopoeia. Before I remember in 3rd grade, my teacher told me, you'll never find a word with more than 3 vowels in a row. And then I found onomatopoeia, which has a P-O-E-I-A at the end, which has 4 vowels in a row. So I've always thought that was so cool. And this is what my brain goes to. But anyway, so yeah. Thank you so much, everybody who submitted their sound bites for us. We cannot thank you enough. It is so cool what you did, and we hope that you enjoyed as much as we did.
Yeah, it's really been such a help, and hopefully...
super interesting.
Yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy it, too.
Yeah. Okay, so first, why don't we let everybody introduce themselves? Shall we?
Yep.
Okay, so hi everyone.
Hi. I'm Amelie.
I'm Yan.
I am Mohammed.
I'm Sabata.
My name is Nashin.
I'm Carlos.
I'm Anne.
I'm Tamara.
I'm Eloy.
I'm Anna.
I am Mateusz.
Actually, Hyomin Lee in Korean name, and I'm from South Korean. My native language is Korean.
I'm from Heyuan in China. My native language is Mandarin and Hakka.
I am from Egypt. My native language is Arabic.
And I'm from South Africa. My native language is Zulu.
And I am from Pakistan. I'm bilingual, so my native languages are English and Urdu.
And I'm from Ecuador. My native language is Spanish.
And I'm from Belgium. My native language is French.
And I'm from Italy. My native language is Italian.
I'm from Brazil and my native language is Portuguese.
And I'm from Germany. So my native language is German.
I'm from Poland. My native language is Polish.
Okay, let's start it.
So if you were keeping track, that means we had 11 people from 11 different countries who speak 11 different languages, at least, right? Submit a list of sound for us. If you're at home listening, you might want to write this down. It's also in the show notes. And what we're going to do is put the original clip on our website so that if you want to just listen to these human emotion sounds, you'll be able to go to the show notes and check it out. But yeah, so we have South Korea, 2 is China, 3 is Egypt, so Arabic, 4 is South Africa, so Zulu, 5 is Pakistan, so Urdu, 6 is Ecuador, Spanish, 7 is Belgium, French, 8 is Italy, 9 is Brazil, so Portuguese, 10 is Germany, and 11 is Poland.
Okay, so in English, when we are trying to think what to say, we say,
yeah. Yeah, filler words, right? Like, yeah.
Right. Think about like a high school presentation.
Right. Okay, so let's listen to our international friends.
When I'm thinking about what to say, I say, yeah.
When I'm thinking about what to say, I say,
When I'm thinking about what to say, I say, huh.
I say,
I say,
I say,
I say,
When I'm thinking about what to say, I say,
I say,
I say,
I say,
Okay, so those were all pretty similar. The main difference I noticed was most people had like an M in theirs. And then, but if there wasn't an M, there was a vowel. And for the Spanish, was it just the Spanish one?
Spanish and Italian.
Yeah. They said M because they don't have an they don't
right.
have that vowel.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. They're all really neutral sounds. So basically it's like which is the vowel sound that happens if you just open your mouth, make no effort, and vocalize.
Right. Oh, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, you make no effort to make that sound. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
When I was in diction, that was how we learned the sound for the schwa sound is
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, or just which is just like vocalizing, kind of stalling for time, it seems like.
The only one that I think had a little bit different actually was Muhammad, the Arabic one. He said which is like we would say that too, but it would be more thinking about what you said.
Yeah, that's right. I think though it's still the neutral vowel sound, and as you said, like in the Spanish and Italian, they don't have the sound or that kind of sound. So the most neutral sound maybe is
Right. Yeah. All right, cool. You ready for the next one?
Yeah. So the second one is when I'm hurt, I say, so in English we would say ow or ouch.
Yeah. So let's see what they have.
And when I'm hurt, I say, aya, apo.
I say, ah.
I say, ay.
I say, away.
I say, ouch.
I say, ay.
I say ai.
When I'm hurt, I say aya.
When I'm hurt, I say ai.
I say ow or awa.
When I'm hurt, I say awa.
Awesome.
Yeah, those are all pretty similar too. They all started with a vowel.
Yeah, that's true.
There was no difference there.
Huh. I hadn't noticed that before.
Yeah, all of them, you open your mouth and you say something. I guess, you know what, that's probably an evolutionary benefit. Because if something happens to you, the first instinct is to make noise, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then you alert others that maybe there's danger or something.
Ah, that's interesting, actually. I thought it was interesting, all of the kind of Latin languages, Spanish, French, Italian, Portuguese, all said ai or aya. And then Polish and German were pretty similar, awa or
right.
awa.
Yeah. And then Zulu was awi.
Yeah, that one was cool.
Yeah.
And Arabic actually too was ai.
Ah, that's right. Arabic has a pretty big influence actually on Latin languages as well.
Yeah, that's right. I think so. I mean, at least in Spanish because of the contact that they had. So like a lot of Spanish words come from Arabic.
Right.
Words beginning with like al.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Like ojalá.
Exactly.
That's like I wish or I hope, and there's the word Allah in there.
Yeah.
And also, I think the Arabs went to Italy very, very long time ago as well. From what I learned from my Saudi friends.
Okay. So there's probably some linguistic crossover there too.
Yeah, exactly. That's so cool.
Yeah. And Korean, so cute.
I know.
Yeah.
Apple. Okay. Ready for the third one? Okay. So the third one is when I agree with somebody. So usually in English we would say or or yeah. So here we go.
When I agree with somebody,
I usually say 맞아. 맞아 is it's right. So usually say 맞아.
I usually say
I usually say صح.
When I agree with somebody, I usually say oh.
When I agree with somebody, I usually say huh or okay.
I usually say okay.
I usually say ouais.
I usually say va bene. There's no particular sound.
When I agree with somebody, I usually say
I usually say yeah.
When I agree with somebody, I usually say
You know, this time listening through to this one, I kind of noticed that there was a really big variety of intonation as well as sounds.
Yeah, that's true.
So some of them were more high pitched or like and some were more like yeah. We.
Right. Yeah.
And maja. That one was kind of low as well.
Right. I didn't notice that. That's interesting.
And it's also interesting, some of them were words, some of them were just sounds.
Yeah.
Anything particular that you noticed?
I was trying to pay attention to what different words were used. So we had maja, we had sach, we had we and ya, right? And then a lot of
and va bene.
Okay, yeah, that's right. So it makes sense that they would all mean something similar. But yeah, there wasn't a lot of consistency in the vowels or consonants that were used in these words. So I really liked the where.
Yeah.
I kind of want to start doing that now.
Cool. So the next sound that we have is when I want to tell somebody to be quiet. So in English, we would say something like shh.
Yeah.
So let's see what everyone else said.
When I want to tell somebody to be quiet,
I say, yeah. Shh.
I say, shh.
I say, escot.
When I want to tell somebody to be quiet, I say shh.
I say shh.
I say shh.
When I want to tell somebody to be quiet, I say shh.
I say shh.
I say psst.
I say shh or psst.
I say shh.
Similar with English, I think.
Okay. What did you notice about that one?
I love that one. I don't know why. I think, okay, so we have like sh and sht and ps, and then escot from Muhammad in Arabic, but they were all kind of urgent.
Oh.
Yeah. But I really liked the Polish one because it was very different. I haven't heard that before. Shh.
Yeah, that's true.
What about you?
I also was noticing kind of like the intensity of the sound itself. So some are more like shh, like a soft shh, yeah. And some are like shh, with more energy in your breath.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I like that. That's a good point.
And a couple of them put the T or the T on the end, which I thought gave it even more like emphasis.
Right, exactly. There's an end to it.
Yeah.
It's like, you better be quiet or else I'm gonna get angry at you. I think I've been teaching. It's Friday, so I have been teaching naughty students all week.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So number 5, we have when I want to get somebody's attention. In English, we usually say, hey, over here, hey. Okay?
When I want to get someone's attention,
I say, yeah. The same. Yeah. 저기요. 저기요. It's polite way, and yeah, it's just like casual.
I say, hey.
I say, لو سمحت.
When I want to get someone's attention, I say yay.
I say hello. Excuse me. Sunier? That's another one.
I say hey.
When I want to get someone's attention, I say eyo.
When I want to get someone's attention, I say, hey, oh.
And I say, hey, hey.
I say, hey, or hey.
When I want to get somebody's attention, I say, hey.
So what I noticed in that one is there's a little bit of variety, but a lot of them use the vowel sound e or e.
Which is almost a universal vowel. Almost every language has a.
Yeah.
In some form or another.
So English, hey. Korean, I guess, was ya.
Right.
And then a lot of them were e or he, eo.
Right.
Which is interesting. I think maybe the e sound and kind of high pitch, like e, is maybe like attention grabbing.
Right, like you said, it carries well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they all kind of had the same intonation as well. Like, ah!
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like an exclamation.
Right.
There wasn't really a question except Nashin, Urdu. There was, hello, excuse me?
Right.
But maybe we could have been more specific.
And then, yeah, in French and in Italian, there was also the O sound.
That's right. That's right. I also noticed Sabatas for Zulu said yay.
Oh.
I think that's what he said. I say yay. So either he was finishing the word say or he was actually adding a Y to A, right? So
yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. We'll have to ask him about that one.
Yeah. Cool. Sabata, write in the show notes if you meant something different.
Yeah. Cool. So number 6, when I'm disappointed. So in English, we would say something like, aw.
Mm-hmm.
Aw, man.
Aww. Right. Kind of down.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see.
When I am disappointed,
I say, oh, oh. Yeah.
I say, huh.
I say, yeah.
I say how.
I say, oh.
When I'm disappointed, I say,
I say,
I say ufa.
I say, oh.
I say,
I say, or when.
Great acting, everybody. Thank you so much for putting your acting skills into this. It was really cool.
Yeah, it sounded actually disappointed. So Patrice, what did you notice about this one?
Yeah, all of them kind of went down, right? So we had how. Yeah, Sabata's voice got so low. How, right? Oh, ugh, oofa, aw, right?
Yeah.
Wah.
Yeah, they're all pretty low pitched, going down, which that's kind of like your state of animation, I guess. If you're disappointed, is kind of low, feeling down.
Yeah, and none of them were bright sounds, right? They were all just kind of like darker, lower sounds, like aw. Even we had like an eh,
like when.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't a very bright
right.
though. It was like eh.
Exactly, and
that's true.
Whereas if you were happy, I think your facial muscles would change and you would be more prone to say eh, like a brighter eh.
Right? Yeah, good point. Yeah. When you're smiling, your kind of sounds get brighter, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Do you find that in singing? Do you smile more to make your sounds brighter?
I don't smile so much because that can kind of like change the sound. But you can kind of make the hint of a smile and it can brighten the sound to the correct sound, especially when singing in like Italian or German. When they have like kind of brighter sounds that we don't have so much in English, like a pure like sound.
Yeah.
It's not that easy to do. So if you're like thinking about a smile, then it actually comes through more purely.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that in English we tend to mumble a lot, so we don't move our mouth as much. That's one thing that speakers of other languages complain about, is Americans don't really use their diction very much. But when you're learning another language, that is something that Americans often need to learn to do, especially with German. I know one of my German teachers said one time, in German we move our lips more. So you have to like learn to use your facial muscles more. Like move your mouth.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, I could talk about that for days, but let's keep going. All right, so the next one, number 7, is when I think something's cute. So in English, we say, "Aw," right? When something's cute.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting because it's like the same sound, but a different intonation.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how those two compare.
Exactly, yeah.
When I think something's cute,
I say, oh, cute. Oh, 귀엽다. 귀여워. Yeah.
When I think something's cute, I say,
I say, hello.
I say,
I say, oh.
When I think something's cute, I say, ooh.
I say, oh.
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 Oh man, I love that Polish one. I think it sounds so Eastern European. Yeah. Aww. I can't even do it.
Yeah. It's a very round, like, sound.
exactly. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Aww.
Yeah.
What else did you notice about this one?
Almost all the sounds are round sounds. So we don't have, again, bright sounds like or something. It's all like, oh, ooh.
Yeah.
And kind of, it's a higher intonation, or a higher pitch than the last one. And especially Chinese was very high, like, ah!
Yeah, that's true. That's funny. She told me that before she recorded. Yan, I said, what do you say when you see something cute? And she said, like, ah! And I was like, okay, yeah, that's different from English. So we put this one right after the disappointed one, basically because we thought of them together, because we thought of being disappointed had awe, and seeing something cute also had awe, and so we kind of wanted to see them side by side.
Yeah. I thought the intonation was interesting too, because it was like, aw, kind of, ooh, in a lot of them. Right. Not all of them, but.
Aw. Okay, cool.
Okay. So the next one, number 8, we have when I'm surprised, I say, in English we would say something like, oh.
So let's see.
When I'm surprised,
I say, wow.
I say,
when I am surprised, I say, yes, salam.
I say, Aibu.
I say, Acha वाकई? Really?
I say, oh.
When I'm surprised, I say, huh? Or,
I say kaspita.
When I'm surprised, I say,
I say, oh.
I say, oh yeah.
So that one had a lot of similarities, right? They all went down.
Yeah.
Except for the French one. And the French one was more of a question, huh?
Yeah. Huh? Yeah, interesting. I think most of them started kind of high, like, ah, and then kind of like that difference.
Yeah.
As opposed to cute, which was like, a smaller difference.
Oh, yeah. That's
Kaspita.
true. Yeah, even the words, right?
Yeah.
Kaspita.
Yeah,
Hello.
it's a really similar difference of pitch.
Yeah.
I hadn't noticed that before.
No, me neither. Okay, so number 9 is when I'm amazed. So this is the last sound word that we have, and we thought there would be kind of a difference between being surprised, like, oh, and being amazed, like, wow, right? So we'll see what our friends thought, if there's going to be a difference.
Yeah.
When I'm amazed,
I say 대박.
I say, wow.
I say, yeah.
When I'm amazed, I say again, Aibu.
I say, वाकई? सच बताओ.
I say, chuso.
When I'm amazed, I say, whoa. Or, wow.
I say kaspita.
I say, wow.
I say, krass.
I say, alle.
I would really like to know what alle is.
You know what I was noticing is that they're all kind of sounds of like exhalation. Or I guess the majority of them are.
Yeah.
Like, ale. Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Kind of like with the disappointed, where they were all kind of exhaling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Letting out a sigh.
Yeah.
Same way.
And it was interesting also, again, some of them used words, and some of them were more like sound words. So like Muhammad and Naushin and Sabatza and Carlos used more like words, and Tamara as well, Italian. So
yeah.
But it seemed like the rest were more like sound words.
Mm-hmm. Did you say Korean too?
No, what was...
Korean was 대박.
대박, that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, more of them are probably words than not words.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I took a note. We've got 대박, yeah. 아이고, 추수, whoa, wow, krass, ale, right?
Yeah.
But you're right, they were all kind of exhaling, and also, I think all of them this time had the same intonation.
Yeah, more lower pitched.
Mm-hmm.
I think the outlier was Italian, which was caspita.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, but the rest were more like, wow, ale.
Right. I think about when I'm like,
Aigo.
when I see something really beautiful. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just like that feeling of wonder, amazement. You're just like, whoa. So the next one we have is the word for a sound that a kiss makes. So in English, it would be mwah.
Mm-hmm.
The word for a sound a kiss makes
in Korean is 쪽쪽. We said 쪽쪽. Or 뽀뽀.
In Mandarin or in Chinese is ma.
Arabic. Mwah.
In Zulu is mwah mwah.
In Urdu is mwah.
In Spanish is moi.
In French is mou.
The word for the sound a kiss makes in Italian is smack.
in Portuguese is smack.
In German is mwah.
Polish. Smok.
So what did you hear in that one?
So I heard most of them started with an M. I think all but 4 started with an M. We have ma, moi, mu, and ma, moi, mu, basically. Or I think that
Moi.
French was like mu, but
Mwah. Yeah.
And then we had 3 that started with an S, smack, smack, and smok. And then of course Korean was very different this time. Chok or popo, right?
Yeah. That one was very interesting.
Yeah, I remember being in Korea and I would be around adults with small children and they would say popo, popo, like when they wanted the kid to give them a kiss.
Oh.
Yeah, that's really cute.
That's so cute.
I know that Korean is a language isolate. It's not really related to other languages. There are similarities and influences from geographic similarities, but that might explain some of the huge differences we've been seeing with Korean and the other languages.
That makes sense.
What did you notice?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that most of them were something like moi or ma or moi.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the 3 similars, smack, smack, and smok. Smack. Which I guess it depends kind of how you hear the sound.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where you start hearing the sound.
Yeah. It's so cool.
I really like those together too. Smack, smack, smoke.
Yeah, cool. So
number 11 is also onomatopoeia, and it is the word for the sound your mouth makes when you're eating. So in English we would say something like chomp, chomp, or crunch, crunch.
The word for the sound that your mouth makes when you're eating is
yum, 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 yum.
Yum, yum, yum.
I don't think we have a word for that. I don't think so.
Yum, yum.
Actually, I don't know. No, I don't know.
The word for the sound your mouth makes when you're eating is nyam nyam.
Yum, yum, yum.
Mampf.
Mlask.
a lot of similarities, but some variety in some interesting ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of M's in that one, M's and N's, right?
Yeah. I think what I noticed is most of them, if not all, start with like a closed sound like n or
Right.
or scrunch, I guess.
Yes.
And then they open to like a ah or a or a aw, something like that, and then they close again to or
yeah. Oh, that's a really good observation.
And what that made me think of actually is, are we all just like chewing with our mouths open? Like, yum, yum, yum. Or in English, chomp, chomp, chomp.
Yeah. Or nom nom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nom nom nom. It sounds like chewing, but with your mouth open.
Yeah. Even though Anne was unsure about squunch, 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 I really liked the sound she made.
I know, I loved it.
Also, Sabata, we saw a little bit of a cool thing about Zulu is that it's got the clicks that I cannot do, but it sounded like he was saying like nafu, right? There was a
Yeah, I had a lot of trouble hearing it. Every time I hear it, I am not quite sure what he's saying.
Yeah. Well, Sabata, another question we have for you. Were you doing the click sound? And sorry, I don't know the technical word for it, but and then the last one that was also kind of different was mlask. Mlask.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah,
like
I
if
guess
you're eating something really sticky, it kind of sounds like that. Mlask.
Ah, yeah.
I don't know. I'm really out on a limb here.
Yeah. In Poland, do you have a lot of sticky foods, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's a little far, maybe.
All right, cool.
Okay, so number 12 is the word for the sound that crying makes. So in English, it would be wah, wah.
We also have some good acting skills on this one, too, so I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah, get ready.
Yeah.
The word for the sound that crying makes is...
But actually, people say hook too.
Wow, wow.
Is
The word for the sound that crying makes is Nyua.
The word for the sound that crying makes is wah.
We.
The word for the sound that crying makes is bwah.
Boo-hoo.
Chlip, chlip.
Beautiful. You all deserve an Academy Award.
Really, really cool.
Yeah. So what did you notice about this one?
Well, there's a really wide range of vowel sounds.
Ah, yeah.
Which is super interesting. From eh to ah to ow to eh.
They almost all ended on a vowel. So we had wow, when, wah, nyua, boo-hoo, right? Except I think the Korean one and the Polish one, so the first and last ones, ended on a consonant. So hook, and chlip, chlip.
Yeah. And I think, again, here, Korean is kind of an outlier. Hook.
Yeah. Hook, yeah.
Interesting. I like the Chinese one. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really quite a diphthong, which is really cool.
That's true. All the other ones kind of, they didn't really have diphthongs, did they? They were like... So, for those of you who don't know, a diphthong is the combination of two vowels. So most of these had one vowel, or a semi-vowel and a vowel. So, nyua had u and a, and then wen and bua also had kind of a combination, but the combination of two vowels would be like a and e makes I. A and o makes ow.
Ow.
Right?
I also was thinking about French and Italian, how they were right next to each other. They were kind of similar, but the vowels were slightly different because of the vowels used in the language.
Yeah.
So Italian was we, or like we, and French was wa, wa, and we. So if you think about it, wa is much more like a French vowel, and we is more Italian. We,
okay.
like kind of a bright sound, and wa is kind of a darker sound, more of a French vowel.
Yeah. Almost all of them started with a consonant, except Arabic and Zulu. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
So number 13 is the word for the sound that laughter makes. So in English, it's obviously ha ha ha. Sometimes hee hee, but that's, I guess, more like giggling.
Yeah.
The word for the sound that laughter makes is
ha 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 ha, or
ha ha ha.
The word for the sound that laughter makes is he 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 he.
Is ke 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 ke.
Hee hee. Ha ha.
Ha ha ha.
The word for the sound that laughter makes is ha 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 ha.
Ha 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 ha. Pretty much like English.
Ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha.
The word for the sound that laughter makes is ha 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 ha.
So what did you notice about this one?
So yeah, we had a lot of ha-has and hee-hees, except Korean also had ha-ha, but it was k-k-k-k-k-k. And then Zulu was also k-k-k-k-k-k-k.
Yeah.
So I wonder how that happened, that they started with the K.
Yeah, well, in Korean, it definitely sounds more like a laugh that you're kind of trying to keep from going too crazy.
Yeah, like stifled a little bit.
Yeah, like if you're covering your mouth or trying not to laugh too hard.
Right, which makes sense. Still, in Asian cultures, it's not really polite to like open your mouth and show the world your teeth and your tongue. Like, I always see women, when they smile, they tend to cover their mouths.
Yeah.
I think that might come from that, like, stifling laughing, but not being too obvious about it. Like we are in America, like, ah, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing that I noticed about French was the way that she said ha 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 is more linked. So like, ha 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 ha. In my diction class, we talked about how French is more of a linked language, especially more so than like English or German or something like that. French, all the sounds kind of go together, and it's also unaccented. So it's not like da 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 da.
Okay. That's interesting. Makes
so
sense.
It's a little bit smoother.
Kind of like the weh.
Exactly, yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
So the next one we have is number 14, the word for the sound that a cough makes. So in English we would say ahem.
And the word for the sound that a cough makes is H, H, or 콜록 콜록.
The word for the sound that a cough makes is
The word for the sound that a cough makes is echo, echo, echo.
Hope you guys all feel all right.
Man, are we in like a hospital or something? So, I was noticing in that one that a lot of them sort of start with an open sound like or with an aspirated sound like And then a lot of them closed and some of them didn't. But a lot were ahem, ahem. Arabic, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, and I think German.
Yeah.
And then a couple of them left it open. I think Polish and French.
Right. Polish was interesting to me because it had a different vowel at the end. Ehu. Most of them ended in more neutral sounds like or.
Yeah. And again, Korean was different.
Right.
Kolo kolo. And what's the first one she does?
H.
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 And then I think it was Elamar from Brazil who said cough cough.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He does say that.
Which I wouldn't think that Portuguese has the same word, cough cough. But
yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Super cool.
So the last one is the word for the sound that I make when I'm relieved about something. So we might not always say it, but usually the word is phew, right?
Yeah.
The word for the sound that I make when I'm relieved about something is
phew. But I think usually we say like 아이고, something like that.
Yeah.
The word for the sound that I make when I'm relieved about something is oh.
Oof, chalo.
Oof.
Oof.
Oof. Oofa.
Oof.
So what do you think?
I heard that most of them, it sounds like a sigh.
Yeah.
It's kind of breathy. And kind of at a medium pitch, I would say, and also going down. So like, oof, phew.
Right. A lot of aspirated sounds, like H's and F's. Aspirated consonants. And then Amelie from Korea also said aigo, which is what Sabata said for when I'm surprised.
Yeah, most of them sound kind of like the word version of a sigh. And I think you would kind of understand what any of them meant, even without knowing.
If you heard somebody say that in another language, you wouldn't think they were talking maliciously about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you wouldn't think that they were excited or thinking something was cute. It's a very different kind of feeling and sound.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you again to everybody who submitted your sounds for us. We are so incredibly appreciative. And
do you have any overall thoughts about the sounds as a whole?
It kind of goes to show you, yeah, we have a lot of differences, but we also have a lot of similarities. And even though, like we said at the beginning of the episode, you know, culture determines emotion, we all still go through very similar experiences in life, and we express our emotions in similar ways. So it kind of unites us.
Yeah, I love that. And something about the experience, we have kind of a core experience about it. And even if the way that we choose to express it might be different, I think maybe the reaction at the time is something not universal, but quite similar. And we have one representative from each language. We're not saying that all of these sounds represent all the speakers of the language, but it gives us kind of an idea of at least some people, and
it's a little sample.
Yeah. And we're not scientists. We're not like doing this scientific method.
We're just nerds.
Yeah. We're excited by the sounds that people make.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think that kind of wraps up the human emotion sounds. So I'm ready for our Lost in Translation moment of the week.
Woo!
So this is from a listener named Leonard. So Leonard, thank you so much for submitting your moment to us. And I'm gonna go ahead and read it. He wrote it in on our contact section on the website.
Awesome.
So he said, I was 12 years old with my 2 younger brothers. We were playing a putt-putt golf course in Germany, trying to hit golf balls through various traps, windmills, and mazes. Being new, we spoke the English word if we didn't know the German word. We were, and still are, amateur golfers, so we struggled all afternoon. Every time the golf ball went awry, we would stomp our foot and say aloud in exasperation, Mist! Months later, we learned that mist sounds like mist in German. That means animal dung. So we were embarrassed to have been the new Americans in town shouting, animal dung! At every hole of the putt-putt course. Mist is certainly not the worst word we could have said that day, but for 3 boys trying to make new friends, we couldn't stop wondering what our German neighbors thought of us. That's good.
It's kind of similar to Kiara's story from last week.
Yeah.
And it kind of shows you that, learning a new language, you're gonna make some mistakes.
Yeah. Well, that's why we have our lost in translation moment, right?
Totally, yeah.
Because it kind of shows us that everybody makes these mistakes, and it's okay to not take yourself too seriously and laugh at them. They make good stories later, even if you feel really embarrassed in the moment.
Yeah. At least he wasn't saying something too terrible.
Right. They might have heard the word mist every once in a while and just kind of thought, oh, it's the same in English. So.
Well, thank you so much, Leonard, for sending that in.
Yeah. And thank you again to all our volunteers who sent in audio clips, all our friends. And that wraps up the episode for the week.
Yeah, so you can follow us on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So if once a week isn't enough for you, we'll be on social media to fill the gap.
And if you want more of our charming personalities, we also write a blog post about living abroad and traveling abroad, so you can subscribe to that on our website. And usually like once or twice a week we have a new post coming out about our experiences.
And if you like the show, please leave us a review. So reviews really help people find us. And so when more people review us, that increases our visibility.
Yeah, on iTunes. And the more visibility we have, the more people will listen, and the more they'll learn about the world and how great it is and how beautiful it is. So really, by listening, you will be contributing to world peace. # reviews for world peace.
Good. And if you enjoyed the episode, tell your friends, tell your family about it. And we would love to hear from you, hear your feedback.
Yeah.
And also, please send us a lost in translation story.
Please.
We don't want to be the only ones making fools of ourselves.
Yeah. We really want to hear your lost in translation moments, and especially if you can send us a voice memo to languagenerdsdoearth@gmail.com. Then you can hear your voice on the show, and or you can write it in like Leonard did to the contact section in our website, which is languagenerdsdoearth.com. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're signing off for this week.
Thank you so much for listening.
And have a great week.
Yeah. Bye.